Have you ever wondered why walking your own path feels extremely lonely? I've been pondering this for a while and I've come up with 10 reasons why I don't walk around with an entourage or a crowd, and how I'm okay with that. Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm an artist, a psych nurse, a mom, and a space holder. I believe in creativity and courage. My life is about transformation, and sometimes that means that I stand alone, and I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to dive into it. The very first thing is ignore the opinions of others. The reason that this is so important is the fact that other people will always have an opinion. I feel like others' opinion is like music you don't like. They keep blasting you until eventually you have to turn it off. And I don't mean this in a way where like your friends are giving you bad opinions. Well, maybe they are, but also understanding that you want to strive for something bigger, right? So you're going to want the opinions of people you actually value, that you care about, and are succeeding in the areas that you want to succeed in because they've gone through the work, they've gone through the hardships, and they've learned the lessons. I'm not going to take fitness advice from somebody who never goes to the gym, even though I don't go to the gym. But if that is something that I want to move towards, then you're going to collect more of those friends that are not going to be like, why are you counting calories? Or going to the gym and working out at this hour? Or why would you want to get up at 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym? So I feel like when we let the opinions of others dictate how we are, not only does it lower our frequency and vibration and make us feel crappier about ourselves, and you question the things that you're doing, on the alternative side, it's like a bunch of extra noise. So sometimes it's better for me to not be talking to anybody because then there's no noise and I'm purely sitting in my own opinions and I can debunk those, I can audit those versus trying to control what other people are saying to me. So ignore others' opinions. Number 2, extreme people get extreme results. And I'm not talking about Alex Hormozi extreme. I just watched him do like a 2-day launch for like 16 hours or something crazy. But even the smaller extremes. When I was younger, I wanted to travel. I wanted nothing else. And everybody was like, I don't have enough money. Why would you want to go there? It's so dangerous to travel alone. You're just a small, tiny girl. And I'm like, no. If I want to go see the world, I got to get over that. And so I went and I traveled. I started traveling with people that I was comfortable with, my mom and my best friend at the time. But eventually I was traveling alone. I spent 8 years on the road and I lived some of the most extreme things. I showed up in Belgium and we did a paint run. I showed up in the Netherlands and they're like, hey, do you want to go rock climbing indoors? And I had never done it before. I've been to Taiwan where they're like, hey, do you want to do this random mountain hike? And I get there and it's like the most rickety looking bridge and steps made out of stone. But I did it and I got to the top, and I never would have done those extreme things if I had not left the sidewalk by my house. I understand that most people want to just have a simple, calming stroll on the sidewalk and it leads to a nice little cafe and there's no extremes, but I also know of people who are willing to hike up crazy mountains, not have any reception at all, and drag all their things on their back to have the most beautiful view because they're following their path. And you know what? The number of people that want to do that are probably a lot less than the people who want to go get a nice coffee. Number 3, raise your standards. So I believe that our standards are dictated by our outside influences. So these are all our external factors. The school tells you you must get A pluses. Your parents tell you you must have a life with a mortgage and a car and kids. And what are your standards for yourself? Are you okay with the complacency? I think that a lot of people, they go on autopilot and they just they set this blanket standard and they don't question, where did these values and standards come from? As I mentioned before, are you auditing your things that are playing in your mind? What is the narrative that it's telling you? So is it important for you to get a mortgage? Sure, stability. But also, why is it important to you to have that? And what is the standard and level that you would want your house to be at? And why is that important to you? And keep asking the why and find out, where is your standard? Is my standard a super clean house all the time? Sure, but my actual standard is that my family's cared for and they have a roof over their head. I can't always get to the dishes. I can't always get to the laundry. I don't even always vacuum the dog's fur. Sometimes I just look at it and say, it's okay. Nobody's gonna die. And my standard is about the happiness of my family and not the cleanliness of my house. Number 4, I feel like as I grow in my life that maybe this will come more into play, but guarding my dream. And recently I've started this YouTube channel and I didn't tell a lot of people about it. And even when I met my husband of 8 years, 9 years, I didn't tell anybody. It was like protecting my goals, protecting my dreams, protecting this entity where I'm like, if I tell people, is there a possibility that they're going to naysay me? And sometimes it's okay not to tell people, because sometimes it gives away its power and it allows other people to have their opinions and input their standards on you when that's not necessary. It is your fire. It is your dream. It is your passion and love, and whatever it is, let's protect it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Number 5. This one hurts the most. People say no pain, no gain. And the reason that they say this is because there's either a subjective, abstract kind of pain to the uncomfortableness that other people are not willing to take on. So I love the idea that I don't think of it as pain per se. I think of it as I get to be uncomfortable. I choose to be uncomfortable. I want to be uncomfortable because I know by being uncomfortable and pushing myself a little bit into that void that I can grow. It gives me more capacity. So the best way that I can imagine this is my daughter learned how to swim. She had broken her arm and had a cast on for 6 weeks. She couldn't do anything. She was like playing into it a little bit. But when she got that cast off, she suddenly unlocked this thing. Okay, before I could not swim. There was no way, there was no how. I had this cast on. I couldn't even go to my swimming lessons. It was a super bummer. She puts on a little water wing and just jumps for it because now she has the ability to use her other arm. And suddenly she's like, I can swim. She's swimming all over the place. A time of uncomfortableness that she had to go through. And for her, that was thinking that she couldn't do it at all. And then suddenly having the realization that she could leap into the void, into the water, and suddenly her body knew. It knew that she could do it. So there is a pain. It's just like when I was in nursing school and every single forum, quiz, clinical, and final exam was all so uncomfortable. It felt painful. It felt painful to put in so many hours to write things that people are only going to read once. It felt painful to study for so many hours for a quiz that only had 20 questions on it. But you do it because it is uncomfortable and there is value to that, because it opens up your capacity, it pushes your limits, and you get more and more spoons to do more things because you know that you have the capacity to push through that bit of uncomfortableness, that pain. So number 6, success demands courage. I love this one. Pretty much any successful person that I have watched, read, or listened to, I notice that their big thing is they start. So what is it? Success demands courage. Now, I loved what Alex Hormozy actually said, so I'm going to share that. He said, imagine that you're in a video game, and in this video game, you have 100 points, and you have all these stats. You have intelligence and determination. So let's call determination courage. So you have courage and intelligence. And if you divvy up the stats and you have 50-50, you're going to be successful. But if you moved all 100 to intelligence, you have somebody who's going to think so much that they're not going to act. And if you switched it to the other way, the other person who has courage is actually going to be more successful because they act on their ideas and they're probably not overthinking it. When we overthink it, it does stifle our ability to act and behave appropriate because our brains are trying to navigate and keep us safe and in that comfortable space. Another example, you gotta have the ticket to win. And sometimes there's a risk in buying the ticket. There's a risk in the investment, and that takes courage. And most successful people have taken the risk. They keep trying and trying and trying and trying, and they're determined and they're relentless, and they have that tenacity to do it, to move forward. Number 7, be okay that nobody is cheering for you. This is always sad because we want our friends to cheer for us. We want everybody to hit the like button. We want our moms to be like, yeah, you did awesome, you're the best. But that's not reality. I graduated, nobody cheered for me. That was 28 months of like grueling nonstop schooling. Nobody cheered for me. I had a baby. Nobody cheered for me. I finished high school. Nobody cheered for me. I went traveling for 8 years. Nobody cheered for me. I wish. But life is not about waiting for the applause when you do a performance. But for me, it is about dancing in the spotlight before anybody even gets there, because that's your birthright. I don't wait for people to applaud me anymore, because it's like dancing on the dance floor. You dance for you. You follow your dreams for you. And if your friends don't understand that, that's also okay. I think the most valuable thing is that you still go out to the dance floor and you still dance and you still have that courage and you stand in your power of your dreams and your success and where you're going and your standards that you're raising. And it's okay because you don't expect anybody to clap for you. People don't clap for others on the dance floor. They just watch them and wish that they could dance as good as them. 8, connects to the other one. Hold yourself to the standard that you want to be at. For me, that's quitting smoking. That's been the hardest thing for me. And I had struggled with this since I was 13. I've quit time and time again. Sometimes it would be 3 months, sometimes it would be 3 years, and I ended up coming back over and over and over again. But what I did is I never gave up. So January this year, I quit smoking. And that in itself kept me to the bar, to the standard of where I want to be at now. So maybe that's creating every single day or creating once a week, because also realizing that I have to balance my family and my work life. But that's okay. Hold myself to my standard. I show up doing my best because I want to do my best. So I end up feeling a little bit bad and I go inwards and I'm down on myself when I'm not showing up at my best. So sometimes it's important to take the personal day, take the mental health day, write a list of things that you have been neglecting that is going to make you feel good, that's going to fill your cup so you can live by your own standard. And if your friends don't understand that, they're not good friends. Number 9, accept the hard trade-offs. One thing that I notice as I move through my life and I change and I grow, that I'm shedding old versions of myself. This also means friends that don't align with me. I'm having a more difficult time trying to converse with people who are pre-contemplative about fixing their lives or fixing their problems. Even when they're contemplative, I still have this little bit of a resistance because I'm like, hey, you can do this. You have the power. You have the ability to act on your goals. You have the ability to fix the problem that you're talking about. What action steps are you taking to fix it? I'm not saying that everything needs to be logical, and I'm not saying everybody needs fixing, they're not broken, but to be acting out of autopilot, to be striving for a little bit more. And I do believe in the sum of your 5 closest people. Now, I love the analogy. If all 5 of these people think that they're broke, and all they do is talk about being broke, how broke they are, I wish they were less broke, I'm going to start feeling like I'm broke and I don't have enough because they're living in this scarcity mindset. Alternatively, I want to be hanging out with 5 people who are thinking rich, being rich, and not just rich in the sense of dollar values, but in abundance. Like they have lots of love, they have lots of friends that support them, or they have a job that they really care about, and they're just like abundant in what they're doing, and they are striving to hold themselves to that standard and maybe even push themselves more. because those are the people that I want to engage my energy with. I want to magnetize more abundance. I don't want to magnetize broke energy. Number 10, sometimes I play the fool on purpose. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I may be chasing my tail and talking myself in circles about how I'm going to build my business, how I'm going to create an offer, how I'm going to share my magic. And sometimes I don't say anything at all because it's not the right person. It's not the right recycle bin. I had a counselor back in the day, and he was trying to help me discern from people that I wanted to hang out with. He says, there's the garbage can, glass, paper, plastic. However you want to organize your recycle bins. Perhaps the glass are parents and they understand parenthood, and paper is my nursing people and they understand mental health and when I'm talking about that. And then there's like a little container here on the side that's maybe about money or success. It seems to be a lot smaller. Like I don't have a lot of people that I can put that information into. Alternatively, there's the garbage can, and that's where a lot of people's thoughts go. I'm going to be honest. They're like garbage thoughts. You know, when people talk down on themselves, they bully themselves, they discriminate against others, or they judge other people, and it's just like all of this negative energy. When I interact with a person, I kind of am asking myself, like, which recycle bin is their energy fitting into? Is it filling my social cup about spirituality? Is it filling my intellectual cup where I get to talk about science? Am I being mentally stimulated? Or are they just telling me their problems? Yes, I can hold space for my beautiful dear friends, but also, are they venting to vent, and has this problem changed? I can only listen to the same problem so many times, and I've realized this over the years, that I have listened to some of my friends complain about the same partner, spouse, or job for 5 or more years. So are they the right recycle bin for you? If this speaks to you and you've ever felt like a lone wolf, drop a little wolf emoji down there so we can find our pack of people. And let's be real for a moment. It's not like I don't have real friends. I'm just calling in my wolf pack. I want the ones that howl at the moon, that are chasing their dreams and understand this is my journey and they support me just like I support yours.